Mike Tyson, and I just want to let you know that the X and Y show is a very good show. It's just totally ecstatic, and I think you enjoy it.
The opinions expressed on the X and Y show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Merry Christmas. No, I'm a little early. Welcome to the XY Show, and I'm your host, Roosevelt. And I apologize for being a little late this week, but I fucked up my hand. I realized it Wednesday night, and I tried to put my phone out of my pocket, and that shit hurt. I was like, something ain't right here. So, I went home and, I said, shit'll go away. I think I rubbed some Bengay on it or something. I don't know. But the next morning, it was worse. It felt like, what did it feel like? It felt like bumblebees were stinging me and it was hot. So I said, something is not right. So, I went to a hand specialist and he told me, yeah, you got a sprain. He showed me the ultrasound. And I said, damn, how did I do that? And I think I know how I did it. But that shit hurt. And I don't like to be where I can't defend myself, just in case of some shit jump off. I just don't like to be, I'm right-handed. I can still throw it right, but, I'm still at a disadvantage, I like to have both of my hands, you know what I mean? But so he gave me some medicine, some stronger anti-inflammatories, and some muscle relaxers. So I've been feeling good all weekend. So I'm all right now. It feels a lot better than it did last Friday. I think in a few more days it'll probably be gone. But a hand sprain is nothing to joke at. Damn, that shit hurt. But anyway, we are 11 days from Christmas. It's almost here now. Usually this time of year I'm so happy. I was another podcaster on my network, Drea from Drea's Point of View. She has a podcast on Podbreed. Check her out. And she asked a question about the Christmas season and stuff like that. And I answered her, usually this time of year, I am happy. For those of you who've been listening to the show for a while, this is my favorite time of year. But this year is so much different, obviously, because of coronavirus, people dying, people out of work, people are still suffering. So it's just hard to be happy, when at this time of year, than I usually am. So, it's just, I guess you just can't let things get you down. But, it really is hard to be happy, and this is definitely my favorite time of the year, December, Christmas, but it's just not the same this year. But, it is what it is. What can you do about it? we have to just take one day at a time. So hopefully, this is the first time I've been actually looking forward to the new year coming in. I'm ready for New Year's. Just get this shit, get out of 2020. Damn. But it's definitely a year that I would definitely never forget. So anyway, let's answer some questions. First question is from Paul. Paul says, I'm having big problems. Well, first he says, hi, Roosevelt, I'm having big problems. My girlfriend acts like she really does not like to give me oral sex. Before she does it, she makes a strange face and always asks if I bathed. Really pisses me off. What should I do? Well, Paul, I think Stevie Wonder would know what you should do. You probably should wash your ass. It's very obvious. She makes a strange face and she asks you, did you bathe? So obviously she's smelling your nuts and your dick. You're probably not washing your ass good enough. That's why she hate to suck your dick. See, it really makes me angry because nasty motherfuckers like you, Paul, nothing personal, but it's obvious that you're not washing your ass, so you nasty. You fuck it up for the rest of us because your girlfriend, if she ever meet me, now she's, she's very reluctant to suck a dick because she's been sucking on your stinking ass dick for so long, and she thinks every dick smells like that. Which is not true because my dick smells good. I always, I go to, I get the Axe, so my dick smell like creamsicle, or I have some of those oils. I just put a dab down there, not too much. I don't want my dick greasy and shit. So just a little dab. So you taste the essence of wood. My dick, my nuts, and it smells good down there, And I'm gonna tell you something else, fellas. Wash your ass. Wash that space between your nuts and your ass. That space in there. Wash inside of there. Wash your ass good. And women too. There's a lot of women out there that don't have washed their ass as well. People in general, a lot of people don't do hygiene very well. And so that's why a lot of people don't like to do oral sex, because the people they're doing oral sex on not washing their ass. And Paul, you are one of those people. It sounds like you're not washing your ass. So your girlfriend don't like to suck your dick because your dick stinks. So you ask, what should I do? Wash your ass. That's all you have to do. Wash your ass and then see the difference between the time now and the time after you wash your ass, and see how your girlfriend reacts to it. I guarantee you it'll be a much better experience. Okay. Next one is Cheryl. Cheryl says, I live in Philly. I met a guy online, but he lives in San Diego. I'm thinking, wait a minute, skip this sentence. We've been talking a while on the phone, Zooming, and I'm thinking of starting a long distance relationship with him. What do you think? Well, Cheryl, I think that's bullshit. I never believe in long distance relationships. It's hard enough being in a relationship when they cross the city. You talking about you live in Philly and he lives in San Diego. That's cross country. That shit is unfucking realistic. Now, don't get me wrong. I know some people out there say, "Oh, that's not true, Roosevelt. Me and my wife, we dated for 3 years, and I finally moved there, and we're living happily ever after." Good for you, but for the most part, long distance relationships is bullshit. Now, it depends on what you want. Now, if you're looking for a husband or something like that, it's bullshit. But Cheryl, if you're looking for some dick, you visit San Diego and you got somebody to fuck, then I would say let's go for it. That's a good idea, because that's all you are to him. You just a piece of ass in Philly. Trust me on that one. It's not anything serious. You just a piece of ass when he visits Philly. Okay. But now if that's what you're looking for, go for it. But if you're looking for a long-term serious relationship that might turn into marriage, stay away from that shit. Long distance relationships are not good to be in. You need to be with each other. You need to spend time with one another. You can't do that when you over 3,000 miles away. You're not kissing, you're not hugging, you're not fucking, just talking on the fucking phone. Hey, come on. That's not a relationship. So what should you do? Avoid that shit. There's plenty of motherfuckers in Philly. Damn, I used to live in Philly. There's plenty of motherfuckers in Philly. Why you got to date someone in San Diego? Anyway, so that's my opinion. All right, so I'm going to get into tonight's episode. When was the last time you asked if they're happy? When was the last time you asked if they're happy? I think that, this is something that a lot of couples get mixed up on and take for granted. A lot of you never asked this question. Think about it. When have you ever asked your husband or your wife, right, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, are you happy? And a lot of you are afraid to ask because you fucking up. Some of you just assume that they're happy. We're not hurting for money. So if we're not hurting for money, he or she gotta be happy. We don't argue much. Don't mean shit. We have a big house. He or she gotta be happy. We got a big house. What more could a person want? Giving us some good dick. That's what I used to think. I used to be in relationships and, I'm guilty of this too. I never asked, in my younger years, are you happy? Because I figure, I'm giving her some real good dick. She getting some real good dick. So she ought to be happy. So I was making an assumption that was totally wrong just because I was giving her some good dick. Doesn't mean that she's happy. And a lot of you think that. A lot of women think, if I give him all the pussy he wants, he got to be happy. He's happy. I fuck him anytime he wants. He's happy. We go out every Friday. Yeah, she's got to be happy. We go out every Friday. These are some of the reasons. I give her roses at least twice a month. She's got to be happy. I cook for him every night. He's happy. And then I can go on and on and on and on and on. And that's all good. But most of that shit you should be doing anyway. But the real question is, you still haven't answered it. Are you happy? Are they happy? And many couples, they don't communicate well. So if they're not happy, all that shit get bottled up, for days. And days turn into months. Months turn into years. And eventually, a breakup happens or a divorce if they're married. What are the causes of a person not being happy? It could be anything. It's not all the time about you. It could be themselves. They're not happy with themselves. Maybe they're feeling unachieved in life. Maybe they want to go to school and go to college and get a degree and start a career, and they're not doing that, so they're unhappy. They're unhappy from the point they are in their life. They don't feel that they've achieved anything. So they might be unhappy because of that. Maybe they're worried about their elderly parents in another state. That's that comes from me. When I was in Alaska, I met this nice young lady, and I thought about that she could be the one, but she wasn't full. She was Yupik, and for those of you who don't know anything about Alaska, Yupik, just say she was kind of like Eskimo. She was half Eskimo, or half Yupik, really. And so my point is, I knew that she would never leave Alaska. And first of all, they can't leave Alaska. They unless if it was fucking Oregon or some shit, which I'm not going there. But it has to be another really, really, really cold climate, for Yupik people to go. They can't survive. Even somewhere in Atlanta, where even Atlanta gets cold, but this shit is hot in the summertime. Where Alaska, their summers are not hot unless you're in Fairbanks. But for the most part, it's not hot there. So she couldn't survive if she wanted to. So I knew that she wouldn't come to the lower 48. And I knew she wouldn't leave her family. And I couldn't stay with her because, I didn't want to stay in Alaska that far from my parents. So, that could be a reason why someone is not happy. They're far away from, their loved ones. That could be a reason. Maybe they're not happy because they're aggravated by stepchildren. A lot of you out there have stepkids who are professional gamers, and they sit on the damn couch and lounge around, eat up all the damn food and shit, and don't do shit but play video games all day. You can't say shit to them because it's not your son or daughter, and you don't feel right saying shit to them because then it causes problems between you and the mom. So you just let it ride, and all that shit building up inside of you. You look at this motherfucker every day and get up from sun up to sundown and playing Metal Gear and all of that shit all day long. And that shit aggravates you. And maybe that's why you're not happy. So you're living in a situation that you really can't do anything about. That's another reason why I don't fuck with women with kids, but then that's another show. Or it could be you. It could be you. Maybe, you say something like, when we got, before we got married, you had all kind of dreams and goals and stuff like that, but you haven't done shit since we said I do. So that can cause a person from being not happy. You spend more time with your friends than you do with me or the family. And that's a sign in itself. If someone is spending more time with strangers, more time than their family, that's a sign that they're not happy. They don't want to be home. So, that definitely could be a reason. Another reason, you're not loving to me. You it feels like you don't give a fuck. When I'm sick, you don't take care of me. You don't do shit. When I was hurt, you didn't do anything for me. When I was in the hospital, you didn't come see me. Do you give a fuck about me? I don't feel loved by you. That definitely can be a reason for someone being unhappy in a relationship or marriage. And of course, we don't fuck enough. We don't fuck enough. And when we do, it's lame. You don't suck my dick. You only let me get one nut. You only want to fuck an hour. Whatever the case may be. We don't fuck enough. That can definitely cause a person to being unhappy. And a man or women can be guilty of that. There's women out there who want to fuck, but their man is, lame. So it goes both ways. Everyone has problems from time to time, But the thing is, the key is addressing those problems. And when you address those problems, you're on the road of being happy. Or at least you're making an effort. I'm not saying that every time you address the problems it's going to turn out to a positive result. No, that's not true. But at least you're making an effort. But you have to communicate. You have to address the problems. You have to address the issues, or they'll never be corrected, and you'll never be happy. If you want to go to school, then if the wife want to go to school or the husband want to go to school, then the other person should encourage them to go to school. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what kind of classes we can start in. What do you want to do? Be encouraging to them and being able to motivate them to go to school and feel achieved so they can be happy. If they're worried about their parents in their elderly parents in another state, maybe there's a way that, if you're married, you can move closer. If you have a job that is possible, you can move closer to the parents, or maybe you can move the parents closer to you. Or if you have a huge house, you can move the parents inside the house. At least you're making an effort. That's the key. Or if you can't do any of those things, maybe you can visit more instead of during the holidays, maybe every other month. So at least you're making an effort to be, to try to be happy. And about stepkids, that's tricky. At least maybe you can talk to the mother and say, is Junior ever going to get a job? And that still might cause an issue. But at least I think you feel better for communicating. Look, I don't like that motherfucker sitting on the couch all day playing video games. What is he doing? Can't really fuck with him because he's not yours. It's a very delicate situation. But if you communicate that it's bothering you, I think that it's better than holding that shit in. And who knows? It might the problem might be rectified. She might get him to get a job, get him or her to get a job, or tell him that you can't do that anymore. Whatever the case may be, it might get better. It just might get better. It's a 50-50. You have nothing to lose, but you have to communicate. You have to address the issues so you can be happy. You told him or her, when you had all kind of dreams and goals before we got married, but you haven't done shit. Maybe they need motivation. Maybe they still have those dreams and goals, but they just lost it. They just need a little spark. Some people just need a little push to motivate them. It's been a while. They don't feel that they can do it anymore. They're intimidated by computers, whatever the case may be. You have to motivate them. You have to encourage them to want it and achieve their goals that they talked about before you got married or before you got in a relationship or whatever. But you have to address it. You have to address it. If you don't address it, then you can't be happy. How are you going to be happy if the problems still are lingering? You're not loving. You're not loving to me. I feel like you don't care about me. You don't. I could be. You communicate with them. I feel like you don't give a fuck. I'm sick. You don't even stay home for at least a day and take care of me, or you don't call me when you're at work and ask how I'm doing, and you don't do shit. Do you care about me? Voice your concerns. Maybe they didn't realize. They thought you were a tough guy or a tough woman, and you can handle it. You can handle being sick. So they didn't realize it. And a lot of times that's what it is. It's just a misunderstanding. So if you communicate with them, maybe they will stay home with you and take care of you, cook you soup, and bathe your ass, and, you know, all that kind of thing, and be more loving if they love you. And hopefully they do. We don't fuck enough. Well, that's easy. You know, you communicate with that. A lot of times it still don't work. When you communicate, we don't fuck enough, you still not getting no pussy, or you still not getting no dick, then I think you should at least address the problem. You have to address it. Maybe he or she needs counseling. Maybe something is fucking up with them that happened years ago that's still fucking with them as an adult, and the issue has to be rectified. Then maybe they will be, you know, more willing to have more sex. But the key is you have to address the problem. Because if you don't address the problem, then you'll never be happy. And that's what's key. That's what it's all about. You know, I think when you end a marriage or a relationship, that's the very least that you can have, or you should have. You should be able to be happy. You know, you can be broke. You know, you have the smallest house on the block. You don't have a car. You know, but you're happy. And I think that so many couples in today's society are not happy. And it starts off with a cycle. First, you know, it's a couple of days. Like I said, it's a couple of days. Then it's a couple of months. Then it's years. And then next thing you know, they're getting a divorce, or they just stay together and just miserable. But they're not happy. How many couples do you know that you could think right off from your head who are together, but they're not happy? Either both or one of the party is not happy. And it could be a simple reason. You know, we don't fuck enough. I think I'm tired of your damn son playing video games, and tired of you spending time with your friends. And it could be something real simple that could be rectified if they communicate better. Married couples and couples who are dating, you have to communicate. Because if you don't communicate, then how are things going to get better? How are you going to be happy? And that's something that I think that society forgets. You know, everybody worried about keeping up with the Joneses. Everybody worried about the big house. Everybody worried about the money. Everybody worry about the worldly material shit. But they don't worry about being happy. The most important thing. If you're not happy in a relationship or happy in a marriage, how could it be a good thing for anyone? So, I challenge you tonight, when you hear this, ask, if you're listening to this with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or your husband, just look at them, and I want you to ask them, are you happy? And hopefully, if they're not happy, they will communicate with you and tell you why they aren't happy. But if they're happy, you're good. You know, if they're telling the truth. But you have to do that more often, because you can't assume that someone is happy just because you have a big house, just because you both have good jobs, just because you're giving us some good dick. You know, I used to think that all the time. You know, she getting some good dick, she's happy, she's all right. That's not true. She getting some good dick, but it doesn't mean that she's happy. Ladies, I'm fucking him all the time. I'm giving him all the pussy he wants. I'm sucking his dick. He's got to be happy. No, he don't. So I challenge you again. Ask the person that you're with if they're happy. It's a simple question. Hopefully they're answered truthfully. And don't just ask them once and wait 5 years and ask them again. That's something you should ask periodically. I think it's a regular thing because a marriage or relationship takes work. You know, it's not a short thing that you into it on the short term and just let it ride. It takes work. It's a continuous process. So it's something that a couple should ask more often. Are you okay? Are you happy? So do that. And with that said, that concludes tonight's episode. And I want you to also remember that you can catch the X and Y show on a lot of venues. I'm on Podbreed Network, and I'm on Spotify. I'm on iHeart, Castbox, Google, Stitcher, pretty much all of them. So be sure to check me out. Be sure to subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find them, my social media and my venues on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com, www.thexyshow.com. You can find everything there. Also have a store. Be sure to check that out. I finally got it up. I didn't get it up in time enough to put my Christmas shit in there. So, but like I said, this year's fucked up anyway. So, but there's regular stuff in there, regular shirts and stuff, just not the Christmas edition logo. So check out the store. Be sure to get one and show everyone that you are a true X and Wire. And send me a picture, and I'll definitely post it on my IG account and show everyone that you are a true X and Wire. So, with that being said, I will see you in a few days because I'm recording late. I fucked up my hand. What you want? So, but I want you always to remember that you cannot have love without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.